Get in, nerds. We are playing Hearts of Iron 4. So, I started my run as the United States, and I'm having a lot of fun with that, but I realized, I was just kind of, I wasn't exactly being my best as a Let's Player with that. So I'm going to start a new run, and I am going to finish that one out. But I'm going to start a new run, and the focus of this run is going to be, we're going to be a little bit more getting into stuff in the early game. That's going to be one thing. Thing number two is I'm going to be doing a little bit more kind of walking you through what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. That's going to be the focus of this run. So, without further ado, here is Germany in January 1st of 1936. We have limited conscription, which gives us 2.5% recruitable pop. That's a little ways down here. The highest you can get without being at war is extensive. Actually, you can get to service by requirement if you're not democratic or monarchist without being at war. But even so, the farthest will be, no, never mind, my B. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This is gives 2.5% recruitable pop. We got a partially mobilized economy, which is pretty solid. That's a great place to be at the start of the game. We have limited exports. That's not going to change much. This means you're getting 25% of resources out to the market. You don't get many bonuses from it. You get larger bonuses from these ones, but you also keep fewer of your resources. So that's what our laws are looking like at the beginning of the game. Let's take you through where we are technologically. For tech, we've got infantry equipment 1 researched, and trucks researched, and armor cars. So that's pretty good. We got mountain infantry research too, so that's a nice little bonus. Support companies, we just got the basic 2, engineers and recon. We don't have radio research, so we can't get signal companies yet. We got the basic train over here. No access to, we don't have special trains or armored trains yet. For tanks, we've got a pretty fully functional 1936 light tank, so that's pretty excellent. We'll be using plenty of those because we'll be doing a lot of kind of mobile warfare. Artillery, we've got AA, foot AA, and regular artillery. We don't have anti-tank research yet, but having foot AA to start is pretty good. And foot AA makes a pretty good substitute for anti-tank. I might end up doing an AA strategy. We'll see. For naval, we're a little weak. We've got most of the 1936 ship techs researched except for carriers, which we have none researched, but we don't have the current armor yet, nor do we have the good depth charges or sonar or the improved airplane catapult. So this is an area we definitely need work on. Germany is not a naval power historically, so that makes perfect sense. For naval support techs, we've got all the basic gun batteries research, which is a good place to start. We've also got tier 2 ship torpedo launchers started, which means we can put good torpedo launchers on our ships. On our ships that are not submarines. Submarines unlock torpedo launchers with their own as soon as you get the submarine tech, but for other ships you need to research them separately here. I don't have the magnetic detonator, which increases torpedo attack, but we may end up going that way. For air, we're doing very well. We've already got basic light and medium airframes researched. We're going to start with cannons 1 researched. We don't have range improvements researched yet, which we're definitely going to need. I'm a huge fan of the drop tanks. I put them on all my light aircraft, as you've seen in my other run. So this means we've got a big diversity. I don't tend to use large airframes, so I'm not too worried about that. Moving right along here. We got... We start the same way everyone else does with no electrical engineering, so that's not shocking, and industry is the same way. You probably noticed that I started with a build where I researched basic machine tools, construction, and electrical engineering. Those are just generally really good techs to start with, so that's where I'm going to start. Basic machine tools is going to give us production efficiency cap. That's going to make all of our Arms factories produce more arms, and that's exactly what we need. Construction gives us increased construction speed. That's the rate at which we produce new factories. Definitely going to want that. And then electrical engineering gives us increased research speed, and that's wonderful. So get to work on that. We've got the wild card slot left over, and I'm going to grab range improvements with that. This is going to unlock first a really solid extra fuel tanks thing. It gives a small penalty to air defense on light planes and a much bigger one on medium planes, but it's still so good. And then drop tanks do the same without reducing air defense. I'm going to go ahead and research this. I've got a bunch of different design companies. Am I going to do a walkthrough of all of these? I don't think so. Let's put Messerschmitt in charge of this stuff, and we'll go from there. So that's where we are with tech. Let's look at industry. We've got quite a bit of industry ready to go. I am actually going to build some civilian industry straight out the gate. Not too much of it. I don't necessarily feel the need to do a massive expansion of civilian industry, but I am going to build a little bit. Germany can build industry crazy fast, both because we start with partial mobilization, so there's no penalty, but also because of the MIFO bills. MIFO bills they cost us some political power, but they reduce our consumer goods factories by a lot, and they give us a 25% research speed bonus. Oh, not for civilian. Interesting. But they give it as it for military factories, air bases, naval bases, forts, dockyards, anti-air refineries, silos, and radar stations. I'm going to give you this description here. The MIFO bills were promissory notes created by Hjalmar Schacht to enable the government to fund rearmament, acting through the balance sheet entity Metallurgische Forschungsgesellschaft to hide this rearmament from French and British eyes. These bills must be extended for 6-month periods, or their recipients will have to be paid when they fall due. So that's going to give us a really strong edge in research. We got 15 factories building here, 11 here. I'm going to bring these up to... I'm going to build 8 more factories. That's probably going to be all that we need in terms of civilian industry. After that, I'll start building up some other areas, but I want to complete some national foci first. We do have military factories available. We got some producing tanks. I don't necessarily think that's super useful, but we do have up-to-date planes here. So I am going to queue some factories into those. We're going to need more artillery than this. We're going to need more support equipment than this, and we're definitely going to need trains. So we'll start getting those built as well. We're going to queue in 1 additional for that, 1 additional for each of these. We'll do 2 for artillery, and then under here we'll queue 2 more into infantry equipment, and those will get built later. We are a little bit short on rubber, so let's go ahead and buy some from the Dutch East Indies. By the way, just to give you a heads up on the game rules, I have left... This is Iron Man. This is my second Iron Man run, and I have set all the game rules to default, so they're going to pick their strategies with the exception of Hungary. I've set Hungary to historical because I don't want to race them for Austria. That's just for a personal thing for me. It really takes the wind out of my sails when I got to fight Hungary for Austria. So, this period in German history is generally referred to as the Aufbau, the building up, and that's because we're building up a massive defense industry. So here's our national focus tree. Here we got our industrial stuff over here on the left. These ones give us some fortification bonuses. This is the 4-year plan. This just gives us access to Schacht and gives us some industry research bonuses. The place we're going to go probably first as soon as we get started with this is to the Autobahn. This is going to max out our infrastructure in Brandenburg, Hanover, Thuringen, and Franken. So if you're wondering why I didn't build anything in those areas, it's because I'm going to be able to build faster later. We got some air and army innovations. These are going to be super duper useful as we get going, but I think I'm going to take a page out of the AI and start with Rhineland first. This is going to be a historical Germany run. And by the way, our goals in this run, we're going to try to get back Danzig, Austria, the Sudetenland, Alsace-Lorraine, and then we're gonna try to win all the wars that result from that, and then we're gonna try to collapse the Soviet Union. That's our goals. So if we're not able to do a nice Zeloa and take over the United Kingdom before the United States gets into the war, then we'll have to fight the United States, and we'll see how that goes. That tends to be a little bit of a slog because building up navies takes forever, but we'll see how that goes. That is where we are. I threw all my units into one army, and I'm just gonna put them on the Austrian border right now. I'm gonna grab 2 divisions to be in their own army, for reasons that will become clear a little later. I'm gonna queue 4 infantry divisions into training, and then let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to bring you over to the main zone. I'm going to grab all of my air wings and just consolidate them in the Brandenburg airport here in Berlin. We'll get them exercising. And then for ships, no one's going to foresee this, but I'm putting all my ships together. I also realized that I have some ships that I'm building more of than I would like to be building. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and set all of them to only 1. And that should be fine here. Germany does not start with a very strong naval presence, as I've already said. But, you know, we'll see some options. I think the Zerstor is still a pretty okay design, so I might leave those on 4. I haven't decided yet. Let's pick a different color than yellow for our main fleet. We'll make that purple. There we go. So, oh, right. I am silly. Hey, Italy. How would you like some volunteers? Oop, not that one. These one. That was dumb. Completely forgot. Been a real minute since I've done a Germany run here. As you might have guessed, we'll pull another 2 battalions in there. And let's go ahead and get some... Let me see, I think we can get 2 wings of air forces. So let's grab these 2. Throw them into the main airport here. And I think we'll have these ones a slightly longer range go to the secondary port. I'm going to have them halt. Still can't? Okay, weird. Alright, well anyway, that was odd. We should see our volunteer troops here. So these units are going to be basically farming a little bit of experience here in North Africa from helping Italy wage its war against Ethiopia. So these troops should get there right about now. Let's go ahead and give them a commander. We're going to put... actually, von Manstein I'm going to promote later. Him or Guderian, I'm not sure. So we'll put Rommel in charge. And put him into an army group. And we'll put Model in charge. Alright, just wanted to make that happen while we were doing it. Let me see, got a mountain province. Got a mountain province. Ooh. Going into a mountain province across a river, not a good plan. Probably shouldn't have had them go back and forth like that. Probably wasn't very smart, but it is what it is. I'm going to have them attack Makal for the time being. Did my bombers get here? Where am I? Where am I? Can you get here, please? I was going to use these ones. Well, it's fine. You can start training again. That's what we're going to do. Alright, so we are involved in this combat. We're up against Ethiopia. This is probably going to go just fine for us. I'm not too concerned about that overall. Do I want to train up my navies a little bit? Let's do some naval exercises. This is going to be extremely oil intensive, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be a problem for us. Actually, let's grab our main army and put it on the French border for now. Just in case we get a real weird fighty France run and France decides to go after us first thing in the game, which could happen. It has happened before. Never in a run that I've been in, but it could theoretically happen. Continue to press forward with our attack here. Again, we're just trying to get ourselves some army experience and get these divisions trained. We're gonna also do some volunteering in Spain and probably Mexico. Again, I've got every country set to default here, so I have no idea what the countries are going to do. But here's the beginning of it. Italy moves to annex the Sultanate of Aussa. Rumors are swirling that the annexation of the Sultanate of Aussa by Italian forces may be imminent. Italian troops have been sent amassing on the border of the isolated nation, and sources indicate that pressure is being exerted diplomatically in Aussa to force a capitulation without bloodshed. It remains to be seen whether Muhammad Yayo can resist the Italian pressure, but the situation is not promising. How dreadful. I say as I use Ethiopia as basically a testing ground for modern warfare. Looking good. And there's the war on the Sultanate of Aussa. So I'm going to grab one of these divisions and turn this way. In fact, I'm going to turn both this way. We'll grab Aussa for Italy. Don't you worry. We're friends. We'll help you out. And we'll just queue in orders to move in, because that's the way of it. As you can see, we're dramatically outpacing our opponents on attack. And they're beating us on defense by a little bit, but for infantry on attack, this is a nothing burger in terms of this ratio here. We're doing very well in this attack overall. And there's one of their units pushed out, and the other is going to get going promptly. So let's just make sure we get... And then we're going. So, Rhineland challenge is complete. Ooh. Oh, look at this. Resource rents. German-Swedish trade agreement. Oh my goodness. That's a really interesting focus. I'm going to have to think about that. For the moment, though, let's get started on a 4-year plan. This gives us, again, access to our Hjalmar Schacht and 2 industry bonuses for research. So what that's going to do is that's going to let us get 2 industry techs at 50% faster research speed, or double research speed. So, the remilitarization of the Rhineland. This is an historical event that happened right around now. Germany has stationed troops in the Rhineland territory, close to the French border, in clear violation of the Treaty of Versailles. The local population cheered the German soldiers on, while the diplomatic reactions from France and Britain have so far been muted. It is no more than the Germans walking into their own backyard, a political commentator in Britain observed. It is German territory. Very good. Get some more divisions training here. Continuing to press forward in Aussa. Oh, interesting. Turkey remilitarizes the Turkish Straits. Turkey and the Soviet Union have come to an agreement on revising the Treaty of Lausanne, which was signed and implemented after the nascent Republic of Turkey repulsed the Entente in the Turkish War of Independence. The treaty has long been decried as an assault on Turkish sovereignty, but today the Turkey has I'm not doing well, fam. Sorry. I'm gonna try that again. The treaty has long been decried as an assault on Turkish sovereignty, but today the treaty has finally been amended in favor of the newly legalized Mantra Convention. Turkey has now complete control over traffic that passes in and out of the Turkish Strait, and the states around the straits have now been remilitarized by Turkey. British observers, who are part of the process, are merely satisfied that conflict in the region has been avoided. Another treaty of the Great War broken. So we don't know what kind of a Soviet Union we're going to have this time around, whether it's going to be a Soviet Union the whole time through or not. We will find out. Alright, we're on defense here. We're just going to hold here and let our divisions build up some more organization. This one is maxed out, so we'll have them join the fight. This one's still getting there. And this is actually not doing as well as I would have hoped. But that's okay. We'll get both divisions in there. Perfect. And we've reinforced in. So we are, if we can get our other division in there, we'll be outpacing the enemy on attack, and that means a victory. Also, these Yekide Safari units are pretty low in organization overall. So, in organization, so I'm not too worried about that. All right, let's get, we got some free dockyards, so we'll put those into our higher up ships here. How's the battle going? Looking good, looking good. And we're not maxing out this airfield yet. Pleased about that. We're still suffering significant attrition here, but I think AUSA doesn't have military access in Ethiopia. Yeah, because those divisions are getting fully defeated. And this means a proud victory for German arms. We've got a bunch of political power that I didn't even notice we were getting. So I'm going to go with Martin Bormann. He's our silent workhorse, which gives us 15% extra political power gain. I'm also going to demand increased Dutch trade with Germany. If the United Kingdom goes democratic, which we're not sure about yet, they're going to be... That's going to be important for us. All right, the Sultanate of Ausa has capitulated. Uncertain times. Let's go ahead and press forward here. There's the range improvements tech. And what this will do is this will let us get this one Italian division out of the predicament that it's currently in. We finished range improvements. That's very good for us. Let's get started on fixing up our naval situation. Next. Germany starts in a very good position technologically in the early game. So we'll see where we are. Ooh, we actually have the ability to give this division a medal. Let's go with... This is actually not a good thing to spend political power on in the early game, but it's definitely something we want to do more of. There's electronic mechanical engineering. We're going to go straight forward to mechanical computing. This is going to give us another research speed bonus of 4%. And that's going to be very, very useful for us. I think... Yeah, we're still continuing to increase our civilian industry here. This is a little bit concerning, actually. We're not winning here nearly as well as I would have hoped we would be. I'll grab this. Oh, interesting. Japanese young officer coup. A group of young officers has succeeded in toppling the government and reinstating the emperor as the supreme ruler of the Japanese nation. It appears this was a reaction to perceived threats of widespread government corruption and adherence to hostile ideologies. Already referring to the nation even more consistently in imperial terms, the officers have announced purges will continue until, quote, all unsavory elements have been removed from the military and the government. Emperor Hirohito himself has released a brief statement assuming the leadership offered to him by the rebels and made clear overtures of reconciliation with China and the Western colonial powers in the Pacific. A sudden turn of events. So what this means is that Japan is flipping over to fun-aligned And they're going to be, so that means they're probably still going to invade China. They're not necessarily going to do invasions in Southeast Asia. They're probably going to attack the Soviet Union or whatever the Soviet Union becomes over in that part of the world. We're doing really low here, so I'm going to back this division off for the moment. And we'll, does it make sense to move this division back? I think, actually, yes. In fact, I think it makes sense to move both of them back, but this one can get a little bit more organization and supply back before it gets started. We got an Italian division coming in here, so we're just going to push forward over here. Again, we're not necessarily looking to help Italy win this war. That's not our primary goal here. Our goal is to accumulate a nice, solid base of army experience that we can use for military reforms later. So, we've got more ships getting fully built out. Let's get a few more in these destroyer lines. I think I am going to keep these destroyer lines for now. Oh boy, we're pretty bad from a supply perspective here. Can I cannot. I cannot play around with supply here. So I think actually we're going to reorient our assault towards Gondar. Second London Naval Treaty signed. Delegations from Britain, France, Italy, Japan, and the United States met in December of 1935 to discuss a renewal of the First London Naval Treaty, which restricted the number and size of cruisers and submarines. Negotiations turned quite heated over Italy's war in Ethiopia, and Japan's desire to be seen as equal to Britain and the United States. With negotiations now at an end, the signatory nations have agreed on limits to the size of battleships and aircraft carriers in the hopes of preventing another ruinous arms race. Why would they restrict themselves like that? I think I'm going to halt this attack here to let my division build back up supply and all that good stuff. And I'm actually going to reorient towards Gondar because that's where we want to go. We're getting pretty bad attrition in this zone, so we're going to pull these divisions back because I don't want to take too much damage from attrition. Alright, we got some unassigned divisions here. These are ones that just deployed. We're going to throw them in an army. We're going to set that army to garrison in Brandenburg State, which is Berlin. And we're going to give this army a training and exercising order. This means they're just going to kind of spread out in this area. And in fact, I'm going to queue all of our newly deployed armies into this army. Our new divisions into this army. And what this is going to do is this is going to get these divisions trained. Which, as you know, is quite important. Hopefully my explainers should be out by now. We do have 150 political power once again. I'm going to go directly to Krupp because we're very early on in our industrial development, so we'll be able to get a lot of mileage out of having a strong industrial interest. Let's see here. That's a really bad supply situation. Alright. Get this attack going here, and then once the 5th Division has recovered its organization and some supply, we'll get it attacking as well. Finished out the 4-year plan, we're going directly to autarky. That's going to help us a lot. Again, our goal here is to go to Großbahnwirtschaft. To Reichsautobahn, and that's going to give us a lot of infrastructure in a lot of places where we're going to be building a lot of factories. We're still building up civilian industry here, and this is giving us a lot of acceleration, which is important for our long-term development. Wow, we really are doing badly from a combat with perspective in this attack, but we'll see. We'll need to be able to go. So we have these bonuses now. I'm going to go with concentrated industry. I'm feeling peckish today. This might be a mistake, but we'll find out. I might even be able to rush the 37 industrial techs. Am I getting experience from this? We are. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we're in the fight now. Perfect. Where are the enemy supply hubs? They're kind of... It's really just Addis Ababa, huh? Wild. Alright, well, so supply is going to be a rough situation for a bit in Ethiopia, but that's okay.
Achtung!
We're going to be here defending against these two units that are trying to counterattack back into Gondar. Very good. And let's press forward. It's a hills province, so they're not going to get so many solid defense bonuses, attack and defense bonuses. So that's pretty good. Still working on our civilian industrial buildup here. I think I'm going to queue in... No, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I don't need to queue those in so far. Too much so far. We are ready to get more divisions deployed, so let's continue to do that. We're outputting a solid base of infantry equipment right now. I think I want to put these at the top here. I do still want to get trains producing first, but we'll work on that later. The order of these is kind of academic at this point because I'm not building new military factories, but I will be. Oh, and we actually won our fight here. And now we're out of supply, which is wonderful. That's exactly what I wanted. Let's go ahead and see if we can't swing around here. Oh man, this is... No, that's going to be a bad attack. We're going to swing on back through this way, and everyone... Yeah, we'll have one of these divisions defend the front here while we press forward and do a fun attack here. We have fed in... Wow, that does not have the combat width that I want. Alright, so we're going to get over here, and we're going to expand the front, and hopefully that'll give us a little bit more combat width to play around with. I'm really hoping for that. We've got quite a bit of command power here, so let's see. Rommel can't get anything I really want for him. For Medell, though, let's get him Aggressive Assaulter. It gives us 10% extra breakthrough, and that's excellent. And with this additional attack here... Come on, feed in. Reinforce. Reinforce, you fool! Reinforce! Reinforce! God, I need to research radio so bad. Radio gives a big old reinforcement rate bonus. Because this situation right here, this hurts. I only got a 2% chance of this division entering the battle every hour. It's real bad. There we go. Beautiful. And so there's sonar, and I'm gonna... Nah, I gotta get radio. Radio is too important. We'll do the other destroyer attack in a minute. But for now, we've got to get involved in this. Gotta get that radio tech going. It looks like Italy is probably going to be successful in this war. But of course, we'll see how things go. Oof, still in a really bad supply situation over there. So I'm going to go to back to naval, and we're going to get the Death Charge Thrower, and that's going to allow us to build a fully functioning 1936 destroyer of the kind that everyone wants to see. I'm going to drop these back to 1 each, because we're going to be building a better destroyer later. I'm going to put my air forces into this air zone. We do actually have access to this airbase. Oh, because we've got this. Oh, these guys aren't cut off anymore. Wonderful. Well, now I don't feel so bad for completely bailing on that attack. We are pressing forward here. We might still actually win this, but... And there's the Spanish Civil War. So, we're in an ahistorical run. Let's see how things look. They look mostly normal. Nothing too wild going on. Nationalists do not have Eastern Aragon. So, we're going to send some volunteers. And we're going to send this other army. And we're going to send air volunteers as well. And they accept. So let's get some air forces on the way here. We'll put those in the northwest. Set them doing their missions. This is air superiority and close air support. And we'll get started. And we're unpaused. I thought we had not been unpaused. We are now unpaused. Wonderful. Alright, so these units are going to need to... These units are still pretty goofed on supply. Wow, the supply situation in this field is really, really rough. I don't think this 5th Division is even regaining organization. It is very, very slowly. This is bad. Well, there's an Italian division here, so we'll pull these units back. Gosh. Alright, there's autarky finished, and we'll move forward to the Autobahn. Our Norwegian counterparts ask for our support. Oh, interesting. The representatives of fascism in Norway tell us of a great struggle to build a base of support and take over control of the Norwegian state, despite how weak and bumbling their government is. They clearly need our help strengthening their grip on the levers of power in a nation that can become a useful ally in the future. We shall help out our fellow fascists. Build support and stays reduced by the future. I don't know what that means. We get nothing from this. I'm going to support them. It's going to cost us a little bit of political power. We're also going to demand increased Dutch trade with Germany. The goal of the whole Dutch thing is to get the Netherlands to... there we go. Perfect. Is to get the Netherlands to trade more, which is good for us. If the UK goes historical, they're going to fight us for this. So the short-term goal is to get them to trade with us more. The long-term goal, though, is to pilfer some political power from Great Britain by never getting too far ahead of them, so that and then eventually having the Dutch cave to us, and we get all the political power. It's a tasty, tasty situation. The Italians start in La Coruña. We're going to put them... We're going to promote Guderian. We're going to put Manstein in charge. We're going to put Guderian in charge over him. And we're going to attack over here near Oviedo and see how that goes. Still having wicked supply problems here in Ethiopia. This whole zone. I'm going to go over here and see if we can't get a little bit better supply. And see if we can link up. Because this is a supply hub right here for Ausa. So if we can grab... Or no, not for Ausa. Ausa's here. So, but this is a supply hub. If we can grab Diradala, we can get forward and be in a supply situation that's not terrible. Provided Ethiopia does its part and builds a railway here. Which they might or they might not. And whatever they choose to do, that's on them. Let's check out the Spanish Civil War right now. We got this Spanish division isolated. There's a huge debuff to all attack values in the Spanish Civil War just due to things being really bogged down. So I'm not going to pay too much attention to that right out of the gate. Alright, we are regaining organization here. So we'll push forward with this division, and this one will do the same once it's actually got a reasonable amount of organization available, which is close enough right now. We've got some more infantry equipment available, so we'll build more divisions. The Games of the 11th Olympiad. The 11th Olympic Games were recently held in Berlin, Germany. Attended by athletes from 49 different nations across the world, the 1936 Summer Olympics are the first in history to have enjoyed limited live television coverage. The Games were a significant propaganda victory for the German regime, but spent lavishly on the event. German athletes saw the most success, winning 33 gold medals, while the Americans came in second with 24. 4 of these were won by Jesse Owens, the single most successful athlete of the Games. We've shown our best side to the world. Oof. They know how important Diradala is, but we'll see if we can win that. for that. I think I might improve worker conditions to get us some higher stability. I think that might be something I'm going to do. But we'll see. Still have a few ships training, nothing serious here. I don't have the reach to control this air zone, although I might. Alright, so we're there now, and we are bombarding. Do we have the air support bonus here? We do. Wonderful. Alright, so that's concentrated industry completed. If I could run straight for concentrated industry 2, but I don't want to do that right now immediately. It's there's still plenty of time. Let's go ahead and fix up our naval armor. Yeah, and we'll go ahead and improve working conditions. That's something we've got to do in order to stay competitive. We're almost winning this battle here. Sorry, I should say we've almost won this battle here. So we're going to continue to move forward and try to capture Oviedo in the Spanish Civil War. Meanwhile, in Ethiopia, this is actually surprising. It's the middle of August, and Italy has not won this war yet, and that's really a surprise. I would not have thought that that Ethiopia would be so effective at resisting Italian aggression, because normally the Italian invasion of Ethiopia goes until typically May or April, and then that's the end of it. With that having been said, this has actually been quite a long episode, and that's all we've got time for now. So I'm hoping this one is a little bit more engaging for y'all, since I'm being a little bit more transparent about what I'm doing, and also since I'm taking on a little bit more risk as the player here, with a run that's a little bit where I don't have as much time to prepare and get everything, all my I's crossed and my T's dotted, or, you know, this, that, or the other thing. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. For now, though, I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you all on the other side.